How do church systems and structures hold women back? Well, biblical interpretations can hold women back from full participation in ministry and leadership. But more often, patriarchal systems and structures are the culprit. So we need to examine what is going on in our churches and institutions. What are the structures that discourage and restrict women in leadership and ministry? Before building a biblical case for women in ministry, Eugene Cho says these words about supporting female leadership. We have to ask, are we, as revolutionary followers of Jesus, who debunked the systems and structures during his lifetime, are we working, living, ministering, writing, speaking, and creating to work towards that end? Power, voice, and influence are not easily pursued or obtained. It must be distributed and shared from those who have that very power, voice, and influence. And because it is so countercultural, we have to be that much more intentional. As a male, I'm embarrassed at times, and the number of times in which we men have directly, indirectly, or systematically oppressed our sisters. Women are held back from leadership in many areas of church and society. Their leadership credibility and credentials are constantly challenged in ways that men don't experience. While the situation is slowly improving, only 10% of Protestant senior or solo pastors in the United States are women. Full-time male senior pastors receive 27% more in pay and benefits than their female senior pastor peers. And Pew Research examined 9 major religious organisations in the US that both ordain women and allow them to hold the top leadership positions. Of those 9 organisations, only 4 have women in the top leadership position. And so far, each of those 4 organisations has only ever had 1 woman in the top position. Currently, only 2 of the 9 major religious organisations in the United States are led by women. There's no easy fix to this problem. Since we're talking about something that grew over many generations and that is entrenched in patriarchal systems, but we can make some changes that will help us head in the right direction. It begins with recognizing that we have a problem, and then we need to ask ourselves some tough questions and be prepared for the answers and be willing to change. What are the messages we tell ourselves, the women who work among us, and our daughters? What barriers have we erected that prevent their advancement and contribution? How can we truly amplify the voices of women and honour their gifts? How are we enabling women to sit at the table? By seeking out female friends, by listening to women, by honouring ordinary women, by examining our beliefs and practices, by embracing reciprocal mentoring, by praying with women, and by profiling and promoting female speakers, board members, academics, and senior leaders. Gordon Fee writes, "It seems a sad commentary on the church and on its understanding of the Holy Spirit that official leadership and ministry is allowed to come from only one half of the community of faith. The New Testament evidence is that the Holy Spirit is gender inclusive, gifting both men and women, and thus potentially setting the whole body free for all the parts to minister in various ways to give leadership to the others. Thus, my issue in the end is not a feminist agenda, an advocacy of women in ministry, but rather it's a spirit agenda, a plea for the releasing of the Spirit from our strictures and structures so that the church might minister to itself and to the world more effectively."